Alec, I am so excited about this year. There's so many new decks coming out. There's so much stuff I want to build. I can't wait until we get our budget.
I just want to build max rarity zombies.
I could build max rating mermaids.
Right?
Just take the money.
This is $20.
These are our top 10 decks under $20.
Yes, this was really popular the last time we did it, so we thought we'd give you guys even more.
Round 2.
So the first deck is Gouki's. This deck came out in Code of the Duelist, and at first it wasn't really, a big deal. No one
Or
really
a deck.
anything. Yeah, it didn't really have that many monsters. But now that it actually has 4 different monsters and a spell, and it's, an anime archetype, so
It's got the links.
we'll be getting more. It's kind of a good beginner Link deck. The monsters are very cheap, right? I mean, they're like commons, rares.
Nothing special.
The spell is a super, but that's easy to get.
They're not like really bad monsters. They all float.
Right. They die and they get any other Gouki card, which is really nice. They actually have 2 Link monsters out right now, Great Ogre and Thunder Ogre, and yeah, they're not great, but the good thing about this deck, and actually what I've enjoyed when I use it, is just making use of things like Mrs. Radiant, honestly. Just kind of the Link 2 monsters, and then like Proxy Dragon, things like that. It actually is really fun.
The core is cheap, but if you want to take it to the next level, you can add things like Metal Foes.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of those decks where it helps to add another engine, add some more cards, doesn't really have enough to sustain itself. But things like Metal Foes are also really cheap, so it's definitely worth looking into.
Number 2 on our list is Odd Eyes.
Yeah, so this is kind of your forte, right?
Yeah. We added to the list because after Legendary Dragons or whatever, Dragon Duelists, we got Archpendulum, who he adds an extra bit of recursion to the deck, letting you kind of keep your Vortex Dragon on the field, because let's be honest, he's the guy.
Yeah, Odd Eyes it's a cool deck. It's fun for like if you don't want to just play Magicians like everyone else, right? You actually get a big recurring set of monsters, I would say.
Yeah.
Sky Iris combos really well with Arc Dragon, in fact.
Yep.
And as long as you're spamming out Vortex, it actually offers good control as well.
Good control and good beatdown potential.
Yeah. So, and of course, you've got like Skullcrobat Joker and Odd Eyes Dissolver, all these cool tech cards.
Mix in those Performance Pals.
Yeah, just all the regular Pendulum support. Eccentric. That type of stuff.
Everything's been reprinted.
Monster Pendulum.
Not expensive.
Very easy to get. Deck number 3 is Cyber Dragons, another deck that actually got reprinted in Legendary Dragon decks. So Cyber Dragons have always been really popular, and they've actually never been expensive, but now they're even more affordable. Cyber Dragons are fun because it's actually really consistent. You've got like Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Repair Plant, things like that. And it offers a really strong boss monster in Cyber Dragon Infinity, which can negate a lot of things. It's really easy to make. Even under Link rules, it's still a pretty threatening thing. You just overlay it on top of Nova.
And like Odd Eyes, also a lot of that was reprinted in Legendary Dragon Duelist, so if it wasn't affordable before, it's even more affordable now.
Yeah, definitely so. And they even introduced a new one, Mega Fleet Dragon.
That's right. You can contact fuse with your opponent's monsters in the extra deck.
Yeah, so it's actually a really cool, fun thing to play around with.
Amazonis.
You're
we talk
one of the
about
ones
them all
you've
the
played.
time.
We played one actually recently too.
Yeah, Amazonis. They recently got new support in Amazonis Pet Baby Tiger, Princess, and then a new trap and a new spell.
Yeah, Pet Baby Tiger and Princess, I guess, being the only expensive cards in here. And I mean, they're only like $2-3 each.
Yeah, they're nothing special.
You don't even have to have 3 Baby Tiger, honestly.
I would think the most expensive card was Queen, but even she got reprinted.
Yeah, and that latest Astral Pack or Tournament Pack. So really, this deck, you can get it for under $20. It doesn't really need an extra deck all too much. I mean,
not really. You can make one, but
yeah, I mean, it has its fusions, but I mean, the fusions are all commons.
Yeah.
So, and like MX Saber Invoker, Mrs. Radiant.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you want,
Zoo's gone.
None of that's like super necessary. It's really easy to just build on your own. Next deck, Cyber Angels, a deck that I actually built a while back. Cyber Angels, funny enough, were kind of like important when they first came out. People thought it was going to be good. Ben 10 was like $10-15.
It was the next big ritual deck after Necros.
And thankfully, it's all been reprinted now too. Like a lot of the stuff on this list, it's very easy to get. All the cards came like super rares and Dimensional Guardians last year. So I mean, Ben 10 is like the core of the deck, and it's like $1, $1.50.
Crazy.
You can mix it around with other fairy things. You know, they've obviously got like Cyber Petite Angel, Manjus, Herald of Perfection's a popular way to play the deck.
Or even Christia.
Yeah, you can throw in Christias, throw in Honest. And what's cool about it too is it's actually like consistent. I mean, it's got like pre-prep at 3, prep at 2. There's a lot you can do. Ritual Sanctuary works really well with it. It's honestly just like a fun, easy pick up and play deck for me at least.
And once again, extra deck is optional. Our next deck is Vendred's.
Yeah, another one of your favorites.
Yeah, another ritual deck right on the list. Vendred's, they are a newer-ish deck. What makes them cheap is that for the most part, they've all been like super. The only secrets, well, you don't really need.
Yeah, I mean, it's, what is it? Like, Chimera's a secret and it's only like $1 or $2.
Yeah, because Chimera isn't, you know, it's cool, but it's not a deal breaker. And
all
then the trap.
Yeah, none of the traps are really even run, honestly.
It's not even used.
And then like the regular zombie support is all there, like Unizombie. Solitaire has gotten reprinted like twice now, I think. Mizuki's been reprinted to high heaven.
Nearly all of them have been reprinted common at this point.
There's only one sort of expensive card that you need, and that's Frame Lord Omega.
Yeah, you're gonna need that Omega.
So to keep this under $20, all you really have to do is just get a single Omega. Omega's about $10, and the rest of the Vendred stuff is also cheap.
As long as you get the reprint Omega and not trying to get the secret.
Yeah, like as long as you just get like a single Omega, the rest of the deck core can still easily fit under $20. My next deck's Altergeist. So this is a deck that I was actually really excited about, and I built it, and while I didn't really care too much for it, I do think I would recommend it, if only because it's a lot of the cards are kind of high rarity. You've got like Muleseek, you've got Marionetter, Prima Banshee, all these cards are like ultras and supers, and they're actually really cheap. And I think it's always fun to be able to play like a high rarity deck that's cheap. The way that Altergeist work is basically you just have monsters and you have traps. The traps support the monsters can like send the traps from the field to the grave to do things like bounce cards and summon monsters from the graveyard. I think that the best part is that it's an anime archetype, and we all know about anime archetypes.
It's gonna keep on coming.
Yeah, more support. And like Gouki's, alone, I don't think that there are quite enough monsters to make a deck, so it does help to combine them with something. You know, some people say the Spellbook engine. If you have money, unlike us, you can use like Invoked and Alistair and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you can mix with other things and have a lot of fun with.
Our next deck is Ancient Gears.
Another one of your favorites.
Yes, another personal favorite of mine. You see, I got some cheap taste here. But Ancient Gears, they recently got the new structure deck, which gave you access to Reactor Dragon, Catapult, and Fortress.
Yeah, and Wyvern, the Stratos.
Oh, of course, and Wyvern. That kind of revolutionized the strategy, bring it up to current standards. And because these came out in a structure, they're not all that expensive.
Yeah, most of it's like commons. I mean, Wyvern's a super, but no one's playing it really. So you can get all this stuff on like the low, and the best part is like it kind of reminds me of a sort of mini like True Draco type of like thing where, you know, you're just blowing up these cards and then they're floating for you. And the monsters are really, really big. Like Reactor Dragon's 3K. It destroys like a spell or trap when it attacks, right? Right. Things like that.
Then there's the big fusion. I can't.
Oh yeah, if you're into the fusions, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's the huge guy,
there's
Chaos, like, Ancient Gear,
Chaos
monster
Ancient Gear
thing,
and Ultimate Ancient Gear Gold.
And Ultimate, he was like 4,400.
You can even still run regular Kajiltern Dragon with Gear Town and stuff.
You can, and you know, mixing trade-ins. But I guess the best part about Ancient Gears are they're still getting support. I think come February we're supposed to get like Ancient Gear Fusion and like Ancient Gear Frame. It's some more cards basically.
Yeah, so it's definitely a deck that's going to be like sticking around. Next deck's Dinosaurs. So since speaking of Ancient Gears, this actually came out at the same time in its own structure deck.
Much more ancient deck.
Even though it's not meta contender like it was last format, what's really cool about Dinosaurs is that they still have 3 Oviraptor, they still have, you know, like 3 of both the babies, Baby Ceradon and Baby Pterodon.
Pterodon.
I don't know how to say those cards.
It's Pterodon. The P is silent.
Yeah, and then there's also Lost World. I think that's kind of the variant that more people are playing now because, you know, since they don't really have like Danglong.
Don't forget, they still have one miscellaneous source.
Yeah, they still have that. They still have Ultimate Conductor, which is the boss monster everyone kind of hates. It's like too big and has too good of an effect. And yeah, so I mean, Dinosaurs, a lot of people still have them just sitting around. You can get the cards They're very cheap. I don't think anything is like really worth more than $1.
I wouldn't think so.
So it's a very not difficult deck to build, and still consistent, still got strong effects, still floats. It's a fan favorite for a reason.
Fair enough.
And the last deck is
Cyberdarks.
Yes. So this is one that we actually Terrell was building it, and I don't know if you ever finished it, but
I'm not sure if it's gonna work out.
the premise of Cyberdarks is basically you've got the level 4 monsters, which are machines,
Yeah.
and they equip themselves with the level 3 monsters, which are just like
Dragons.
Yeah, dragons, dark dragons. And so when they're equipped, they gain the monster's attack, and the monster dies instead of them if they would be destroyed. Previously, this wasn't really a great strategy. It was just slow and kind of clunky, but
It's a legacy strategy.
thanks to the new support in Legendary Duelists, I think it was, now it's actually not that bad. They got Cyberdark Inferno, which is a field spell that makes them harder to destroy. It makes them untargetable unless you search actually your fusion spells. And they got 2 new Cyberdark monsters that actually have hand trap effects. You can just discard them to search cards or recycle cards. And when they're equipped, they get all these crazy effects. They got a new fusion monster. It can actually negate things just by sending the cards equipped to it to the grave. So really, like, it's more consistent and more fun now, I think. More playable.
Oh, anything's more playable than it was before.
Yeah, a lot like Amazoness, I feel. Same set, also got new
Yeah.
cards, you know,
Fair
more
enough.
fun. So yeah, that concludes our 10 decks under $20. The best part about this is there's actually a lot of stuff we left out, right?
True that. There's plenty, and but if you want to see more, you'll have to see our next installment.
Yeah, I think this would be really fun to do, you know, decks under $50, decks under $100. If we left anything out, you can always let us know down in the comments. Hopefully this gave you guys some ideas for things to play if you're on a budget, because budget
Or if
Yu-Gi-Oh!
you're a student and your refund check's gonna kick in a few weeks.
That hit too close to home. So, hope you guys liked the video. Thumbs if you like it, subs if you loved it,
Hit the notification bell if you want to join the squad.
and it's gonna be it. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.